Hi, my name is David. I am a young filmmaker and screenwriter, and today we'll talk about how you can write your very own screenplay. First off though, let's start with a little game of trivia. Are you ready? Listen up. What do Christopher Nolan, James Cameron and Stanley Kubrick have in common? I'll reveal the answer later in the video. Let's get down to the basics first. Let's first talk about how you write your screenplay. If you're able to write, perfect, all the prerequisites are met. All you need now is a pen and a notebook, or even a sheet of paper. And if you want something more digital, there are tons of different apps and formatting helpers that make your texts look like this instead of this. Let's go over a couple of screenwriting apps together, shall we?
FadeIn. Now, I'm starting off with FadeIn because this is one of my absolute favorite softwares when it comes to writing screenplays. It features nice tools for outlining your story, organizing and navigating through everything you have written, and is personally my go-to choice when it comes to an intuitive and simple UI. It's available for Windows, Mac, Linux, iPhone, iPad and Android, and it comes both with a free and a paid version. The free version includes almost every feature as the paid version does, except for a cloud-based workflow and no collaboration options. Also, it has this watermark on the top of your exported PDF files. The cost of FadeIn is quite inexpensive compared to other paid options. It has a one-time payment of $79.99, includes free future updates, and I think it even has a student discount if you are enrolled in a university. Final Draft. For over 25 years, Final Draft has been the industry standard and market leader for screenwriting software. Used by 95% of film and television productions, Final Draft is the first choice for both professional and aspiring screenwriters, producers, directors, and industry executives. It also comes with a 30-day free trial for you to check it out. However, considering that Final Draft is one of the industry standards, it sadly also comes with a whopping price tag. The cost of purchasing Final Draft is currently around $170, and last time I checked it also had a pay for update system. Highland 2. If you have a Mac and are looking for something more affordable, then Highland 2 is worth checking out. Highland 2 is built specifically for intuitive writing and works for almost every kind of document, from novels to blog posts and research papers. Highland 2 features some cool tools that help you format your writing on the go without having to worry how to do it yourself. While it is mostly free, there are in-app purchases available. The paid version comes at a price tag of $49.99 and unlocks some cosmetic UI variability, many different presets for various types of documents like multicam productions, novels or speeches, and watermark-free PDF exports.
Now these only merely scratch the surface of screenwriting software out there, but these are the ones I have personally worked with in the past. The most important thing for you though is finding one that you think is the most intuitive for you personally. There are many more apps out there, and I can only recommend trying out some of them to see what you are looking for the most. And if all else fails, you still have your pen and sheet of paper. I'll put a link of every software I have mentioned into the info section of this video. Every screenplay starts with something you want to tell your audience. This can be an idea, a character, or a specific scene, or even a single shot that you have in mind. But there's always one specific starting point. Now mind you, this doesn't have to be the beginning of the story itself. This can be an opening shot, a climactic scene right in the middle, or even the death of a heroic character at the very end of the story. Chronologically, it doesn't necessarily matter where exactly in the story you start. For now. Wherever your personal starting point may be right now is the very best place to start writing your story. If you already know that you want this particular scene to be the very first or the very last shot in the movie, that's great. Now all you need to figure out is where do you go from here and how did you get there? Now, you have an idea and you want to make a story out of it. We could go on and talk about all different kinds of topics like story structure, the hero's journey, the Fishtian curve, the save the cat, the Fred experiment, but we won't. If you're new to screenwriting and you're just starting out, you can push all of these things all the way back to the head. And the questions you need to worry about right now is, who is my main character? What do they want? And how do they get there? What's the conflict? There are certainly many rules regarding what to do and what not to do in a screenplay. Since we're primarily writing a story for a visual medium, we only ever write about things that can be seen on screen. If it won't be seen on the screen, then it has no place to be in your screenplay. These things include thoughts, backstories, what they had for breakfast, all of these things. If you're only going to mention them without showing it, throw it out. And vice versa. If these things are really important, then they should be shown through the actions of the characters. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. This is another topic we will be talking about in a different video. What matters right now is that you focus on the writing itself. Of course, there is not a single perfect definition of how you can write the best screenplay that has ever been written. It all boils down to effort, practice, and a whole bunch of getting used to writing every day. If you feel up for a challenge, I can highly recommend you checking out my other videos on the 60-day screenplay challenge. It's a challenge I started a couple of weeks ago, and set yourself a personal goal. Get down to business. But anyway, back to the quiz from the beginning. What do Christopher Nolan, James Cameron, and Stanley Kubrick have in common? They all have one thing in common. Maybe others, but this one is essential. They never went to film school. And they're not the only ones. Kevin Smith, Wes Craven, Alfred Hitchcock, you name them. They all lived a way different life than as the filmmakers we know them as today. Why am I telling you this? This piece of knowledge is something you can remember whenever you feel like you are not going to make it. You don't really need to go to film school in order to make it as a filmmaker. Now, this does not mean that film school is a bad thing or that it should be disregarded as a way of getting into filmmaking, but it is certainly not a necessity. This is what it really boils down to. It all depends on you, on your ambition, on what amount of effort you want to put in yourself in order to make it. And the possibilities now are much more flourishing than ever. In 2021, Netflix has been putting out new movies and series every week. Amazon Prime Video, Apple TV, HBO, similarly so. The market for new writers, directors and actors is there. You just need to get yourself out there. Now take notes. What have we learned today? Find a screenwriting software that you feel is the most intuitive for your personal needs. Experiment if necessary, but most importantly, write and write some more. Don't limit yourself by always looking for the best software or gear to use. If a pen and paper is the best you got, then go for that. What are the most important questions you need to ask yourself over and over and over again when writing a screenplay? Who is this character? What do they want? How do they get there? And if you're stuck, you just skip ahead, write what comes to mind, and then you can look back and figure out what got them into this situation and how do they get out of there. Anyway, that's it from me today. I'll put every link in the description I mentioned, and I hope you found this video somewhat helpful and inspiring. And maybe I'll see you around again next time. Bye!